Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV news with me, Meoni. Today we're looking at the special site of patch 6.1 that got updated today, the 1st of April 2022. And no, this video is not an April Fool's video. It's actually quite important because they've added quite a lot of extra features that we didn't know about to some of the upcoming 6.1 content that actually wasn't mentioned in the live letter today either. So as you can see on the side, we've got some green buttons. They indicate new sections, the first of which is new challenges, including information on the minstrel's ballad, the end singer's aria in 6.1. There's a lovely image here of the end singer, and it said, had the end singer succeeded in gathering but a few more stars worth of despair, or even that of a few more souls, might the darkness you faced have been so deep, not even the light of hope kindled by your comrades could pierce it. So muses the wandering minstrel, and by his consummatively evocative words, you find your mind set adrift amidst that unsettling possibility, where you can rely upon naught save your own conviction to overcome the ultimate incarnation of despair. Fantastic image here. Of course, all of the images included in this update are on the media section if you want full resolution pictures, maybe some wallpapers. But let's carry on. Let's scroll down. The next part is on Myths of the Realm, which of course got labeled with the name Aglaya. That's the first part of this new three-tiered or three raid featured alliance raid, which is original to Final Fantasy XIV. There are three images we'll talk about in a second, and it says, Eorzea, a realm embraced by gods. Since ancient times, people have worshipped a pantheon of divinities known as the 12, but their true identities have remained shrouded in enigma. On a day much like any other, however, a certain request would arrive at the Baldessian Annex and set you upon the path of the heart of the myth. And we've got three pictures. Let's look at those. The first of which is the entrance itself, the first thing you will see when you zone into this particular alliance raid, which is absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, much like the other Ascian technology, this is a floating area, a floating palace in the clouds above somewhere on Etheris. If you look at the main map, you'll remember that above Garlemald, there was actually some kind of floating islands and such. I'm not sure if that's actually here, but it is somewhere very similar in the clouds, because as we know, the ancients like to build a lot of their test research things and buildings in the cloud base above, and then the test subjects were on the planet below. So that might make sense. This place is absolutely gorgeous. We've got griffins guarding the way. The second image is that of Garo, who is being introduced as obviously the quest NPC associated with the side quest and the alliance raid as a result of that through the Baldessian Annex. This also means that we'll likely see Kryl Baldessian at some point as well in this side series, unless she's been reserved for other content. And we have this interesting character wearing the recent glamour that got added to the treasure map dungeons, and this little minion here as well. Very cool stuff. It's nice to see Garo go his own direction, and it's always nice to see little separate stories with these characters. The third image then is that of, well, it features a few things. First of all, it features a very interesting character with a large hammer. I wonder if we can guess who that is of the Pantheon. I'll leave that to you in the comment section, although it's fairly obvious. And of course, we have the backdrop of this wonderful palace that kind of looks a little bit like Disneyland. The hammer is just missing this particular tank. And this tank, as you can see, is wearing the brand new Alliance Raid series gear. You'll notice that in the live letter video, if you watched my summary, I advise you go watch that because you save yourself 3.5 hours into 29 minutes instead. You'll notice that the veil is very much more clear on this image because this is an in-game footage picture rather than the concept art that was given as a demonstration in the live letter. I do like transparency on capes. That's probably the first time we've seen that other than the wedding veil, so it's nice to see that. This is probably my favorite one, the tank one. They're going with gold and white, and that's a really cool idea. In the right side, we have the healer set as well. And then we have just generic job gear as far as I can see here as well. Apart from this one here, but I can't really see. I think that's aiming over there. It looks like a bow. This is obviously an astrologian. The weapons are already weapons from P4S. So those are pretty much already existent in the game. But what an amazing looking boss, and I cannot wait to do the Alliance Raid series myself. That's all the info we have at the moment, but that's probably plenty. We don't want to spoil too much, and Yoshi P made a special effort not to spoil anything in today's preview in the live letter part 70. The next section is obviously talking about Ultimate here, which is called Dragon Song's Reprise. There's one image here of Archbishop Fordan, which is one of the phases, as it's a multi-phase fight like the other Ultimates. It says, "There are no ifs in history, yet man is wont to cast his mind towards the path not walked." Verse spoke for Wandering Minstrel, and at his urging, you reflect upon bygone trials with newfound perspective. Your imagination stirred by the man's masterfully woven verse, you dream of an alternate conclusion to the Dragon Song War. And yeah, that's going to be challenging content coming in 6.11, which was confirmed in a live letter today by Yoshi P to be 2 weeks after the launch of 6.1 itself, to give people time to do the MSQ and stuff, which is really, really nice of them, obviously. Another piece of content, oops, I scrolled a bit close there, is Ultima's Bane, which is basically Ultima weapon on an Unreal difficulty. If you're unsure what Unreal difficulty is, we've had Unreal Titan and Unreal Shiva before. They're kind of like extreme fights, but a little bit less hectic than that. They're not too bad. They're sort of, some of them are the difficulty between hard and extreme, and some of them are closer to an extreme. So they're not too difficult, but they usually have pretty good rewards in the form of a faux hollow system, which is also being updated with new rewards. So probably new minions and probably a new mount. It says, "Legends by nature only grow, and that of the Empire's Ultima weapon is no different. Triumph as you have never triumphed before in the newest Unreal challenge." We have an image here of obviously Unreal Ultima. I wonder how many more Ultima fights we can expect to see in the future, since we have so many. Next up in this section, we have talking about PvP and Crystalline Conflict, with 4 images in the background. It says, "A dazzling array of arenas await at the Grand Company's glamour-woven tactical training grounds. Designed with adventurers in mind, these strategic confrontations of but a few competitors make for a thrilling challenge for newcome pups and Wolf's Den regulars alike. At the end of the crystal line, who will stand victorious? Will it be you?" This is a new 5v5 content where you basically push a crystal across a track by standing in it and killing the enemy so they can't stand in it, and basically you push it into the enemy's goal unless the timer runs out, and then obviously it's last people standing, the last team standing. Pretty self-explanatory. This is pretty much what it looks like. Very nice visually. We saw footage of this in the live letter part 70 today. And honestly, yeah, there's a variety of different maps you can see here. It's nice. It's really cool. What else can I say? Without actually playing it myself, I don't have any other, experience on this, so that's my first impressions. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, PvP, very interesting. If we scroll down, we have the new systems section, which talks about, obviously, the Imperium. We looked at that before. And then we have this. This is a new section. On A Realm Reborn duty support and updates. It says, "Experience the story of A Realm Reborn solo with the arrival of a duty support system, enabling Warriors of Light to call upon NPC allies for main scenario duties implemented in 2.0. Patch 2.0 dungeons and trials have also been adjusted to ensure the best possible gameplay, alone or with friends. There's an asterisk here. It says duty support and updates for 2.x Heavensward and so forth will be progressively implemented in later patches. This is their new approach to enjoying the game solo or with others. That's their new mantra, because one of the biggest problems when they talk to people who are put off about the idea of playing 14 is that they've played the single-player Final Fantasy games and aren't interested in an MMO. This is in the attempt to encourage them to do so, so the anxiety of playing with others is less so. Also, gameplay-wise, this does mean that they don't have to worry too much about keeping things the way they were, making a lot of the dungeons, including Praetorium and Mariadnum, 4-player duties instead. Ultima will be a 4-player duty separate as well as a trial. And then stuff like Ritatin Sasarvina, and of course, that's from Cape Westwind, will be a solo duty rather than an actual trial. Cape Westwind's being removed from the game. And yeah, La Habrea, I think, is a solo duty as well. He's being removed from Praetorium. This actually helps people avoid the necessity to wait for new players to watch cutscenes, and should shorten the runs significantly for people who do MSQ roulette, which is also being changed, and so are the rewards from that. As you can see, these are the adventurer friends, as we will call them, in a friendly way. It makes sense that the grand companies would support you inside Mariadnum here in Praetorium, but they will obviously be different depending on where we go. Ritatin is a solo duty, as you can see here, instead of Cape Westwind, and this is the actual UI used for this that groups you up, obviously fills in the gaps of whatever player role you cover, and of course there's a full list of things. There will be other buttons next to this one for Heavensward and so on when they get added, and it gives you, it's just nice and friendly, isn't it? Very easy to use, tells you all of the information you need to know, and of course this is basically using this the same engine and same technology as the Trust system, which is still also in the game. As we scroll down a little bit more, we have the new items section, one of the last sections. We do have the Garo collaboration returning. It says PvP gear inspired by the Japanese TV hit Garo is back. Don't miss another chance to get your hands on special mounts and gear dreamt up by the legendary character designer Keita Amemiya. I'm really bad at pronunciation, I apologize. That's the gear that we've had in the game for a long time. They did say on the live letter that if you are playing a Sage, for example, so Endwalker and Shadowbringers content jobs added in that time period will be also added to this. So that means new achievements and obviously new weaponry for those, so as well as titles. So yeah, you're not going to miss out. So there's plenty for people who have already completed everything in the last Garo event to actually do this time as well for the new jobs. And of course, if you missed any of them like I did, I picked and chose, I cherry picked, you can obviously pick up all of the rest of these. It is a great time to do PvP in 6.1, especially with the new series PvP, which we'll talk about in other videos, but definitely the time for PvP is now. And as you can see, these are the 3 mounts which have been available before that you can get now if you so wish to. But obviously I would jump on this if I was you, because who knows when this will ever be added again. We actually don't know if this is a permanent re-edition or if there is a time limit, but we're waiting for a lodestone page on that. And that pretty much clears up everything that's been added to the special site. You can click this button to go to the media section. The 6.0 stuff's there as well, but if we click on 6.1, there's the new trailer, which we'll look at in another video, but we also have all these lovely images. If you wanted a nice big picture for your wallpapers or such, because there's some beautiful artwork and screenshots here, why not? Anyway, that's what's going to be linked in the description of the video if you want to go check this out. I've done other videos on the updates to this, and I'll continue to update more news videos as well as everything else from the world of Final Fantasy. Much love, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.